Hold on, 1 second. You understand?
Easiest way to end up arrested is that you don't listen to them.
No. How am I under arrest?
If you're a guy and doing this and you're bigger than them, you may have already been tased. Oh, she's getting full-on restrained.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, but he's not happy about this.
Permanent restraining order of 5 years is necessary. What is going on, everyone? My name is Mark Reel Jr., the Father's Rights Attorney. On today's episode, I have Managing Attorney at Real Father's Rights, Ryan Dreyer, here with me, and we are going to react and discuss how men can effectively deal with false allegations.
On May 4th, 2024, an officer in Ohio rushed to a residence for an active domestic violence call. Earlier, a woman called 911, reporting she was assaulted in her home. As the officer pulled up, the woman exited the house, followed by a man shouting and approaching the officer. Here's what the officer does next.
What's going on?
He just hit me. And he just hit me right here. And he needs to get out of here.
Explain to me what's going on prior to this.
He had woke me up in my kid.
Hold on, 1 second. I will talk to you in a second. Do you understand? I'm talking to her first. Go inside. I'll talk to you in a second. Listen to me. Listen to me.
First thing I would say is obey the police officer. Easiest way to end up arrested is that you don't listen to them.
Yeah, his demeanor's all wrong. Coming out in an aggressive manner is all wrong. He needs to come out calm, cool, and collected.
Me and my kids were asleep, and he had woke me up because he left, and that's my vehicle. And it doesn't even matter, but I came up here, we started arguing, he had hit me. And I told him, I said, it's the last time you're going to hit me. And I'm just done with it. He needs to get the out of here.
Where did he hit you at?
Right here.
Like
she doesn't seem very upset.
He hit me. He just hit me, and I fell right there.
Did you hit him first?
No, I didn't put my hands on him.
Okay. So you guys are arguing for what? What caused this whole argument?
Honestly, I don't really even know. Because he had left in the vehicle. That's what caused it.
Is there any weapons inside?
No.
Okay. So do you live here with him?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And you guys have any kids together?
Yes, I do. And they're sleeping, and that's another part of it.
You guys have kids together?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was trying to start a fight between somebody
My
else,
kids.
and I was
Drives me crazy, drives judges crazy.
Our kids, people.
I took his phone, and then, he actually
Took his
gave me
phone.
and then
She
I
said
had
she didn't know
it,
what
and
started
then
the argument. Now she's telling him took his phone, which
hit
is
me.
domestic violence under coercive control in the California Family Code.
Plenty of men have taken a phone that they paid for and owned
like this, and I fell right here.
and gotten criminal charges, if not domestic violence charges.
Yeah.
Will you fill a statement out for us? Let me see your face again.
I do like this officer. He seems to be very calm and composed, being thorough.
No, I haven't drank anything. He's been drinking.
Okay. Well, hold on. I'll go talk to him.
He's angry. He's been drinking. We hear that type of stuff
Well,
all the time.
So if you
All
go
the
in there,
time.
You're just gonna stir the situation back up.
This is my house, though, with my kids in there. So I'm
Now she's not listening.
Mm-hmm.
But I think she's uncomfortable because this officer maintained his composure, really pressed on asking the questions when his story wasn't making sense.
One person take their side. I want to talk to him too. Sure, he can come out here and just split
This
you
shows
guys up.
control, too. She's trying to control the situation.
Yes, she is. She already knows that there's no bruising.
You want to come out and talk to me now? Hey,
My son's right here.
come out and talk to me now.
No, my son was.
Come out and talk to me. Tell me your
Neighbors and
side.
everything will tell
Listen, you gotta calm down.
She don't
Go back inside because I told. Listen.
He's
I
not
said
doing
I'll
himself
talk to him
favors right
separate.
now.
You said you want to go inside, so go inside. Go inside.
No, they was not. No,
Go
they was not.
inside.
Okay, I will.
My home, sir. I'm so sorry for her.
Come down here so I can talk
There
to
we
you.
go.
Dad, dude, this is crazy.
So tell me your half of the story.
My half of the story, the
Yep.
true story is, I've been
Don't
trying
curse,
to get
please.
that out of my house for
Just be human.
not leave. This is my dad that tries to, mediate things. And I pay all the bills. She's not on the lease. I've been begging her to leave. My son right there was watching out the window while I was trying to get in my home. Okay, after talking to my neighbor. She came out here and attacked me, dude. I don't hit females. I'm sorry how angry I am.
Where'd she attack you? Where'd she hit you at or anything?
In the back of my head. Right
here. Oh, God, Whit, thanks.
Huh?
No, he's...
Right here. Like, this isn't the first time either.
So you're saying you were out here. Why were you out here?
Yeah, I was out here. Look, my truck's on.
Yeah, with the car.
Yeah, my truck was on.
And then what happened after?
Big piece here is there's statistics that show that men are victims of physical domestic violence more than a dozen times before they report.
I was just thinking that, and it's say something earlier, say it often.
But like, she fighting his neighbor, his old lady, and then she comes at me and hits me. My son's sitting in that. That's why I'm mad, because the man, and I'm trying to get her out of my house, and Overlook ain't wanting to do nothing.
Well, you have to properly evict her. That's
I understand that, but like, when she's like...
Which is a bitch in California.
Yeah, it is a funny thing. You can't just actually kick someone out of the house. We always hear that. She kicked me out of the house. It's like, they don't really have the power to do so.
Correct. My uncle is right there, Mikey Stout, my other uncle, Teddy, and my dad, Joey.
What I like about what he's doing is a lot of it's less emotion. He's clearly emotional, but he's talking in facts.
So did your neighbor see anything? Let me see your head. Let me see your head.
I wish we could see if there was anything.
She didn't
You know you want me to see it.
Hang on, dude.
Where'd she hit you at?
She hit me right here in my head.
Okay.
The back of my head.
So
I never touched her.
So how did her chin get all red right here?
Her chin got red.
Yeah, like her jaw right here.
She slipped right here. Ask them, ask my son. I did hit her. Did not. I would never hit her. Here. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
Kid involved, but
How old does he look like? He's blurred out.
10.
10, 9.
Stop.
So I was sitting on my phone on the couch, and then I heard Brittany on the phone yelling at my dad to get home. And then
No, go back inside real quick.
See, she's
We're
coming
talking
out to
everybody
interfere.
separately.
You're talking to a child?
Yeah, I am.
She's trying to persuade the child.
Do you want to obstruct my investigation?
That's
See?
exactly where I was going. She's nervous about what this kid's going to say.
See? Yes, she is.
Exactly. That's why I'm talking to him. Please go back inside.
See, and he's old enough to be a precipient witness because he can
and then I heard like
say what he's seen.
yelling, and then she came out of the door, and then I heard them screaming, and I looked out the window, and then I seen Brittany hit a punch, and my dad like blocked it like that, and then my dad kind of pushed her off a little bit, and then that was it. And then my dad came in yelling and saying he was gonna call the police, and Brittany kept on saying she was gonna call the
So,
police.
kid's saying that mom attacked dad, and then dad came in saying he was going to call the
She
police.
said she was out here because he was in the truck or whatever, and then they got into an argument. He hit
As an
her,
aside,
fell
can you
down.
please not put your children in this kind of position?
But
This is
his-
awful
his
for this
story
kid.
is The same.
Yeah,
So,
I'm good with that. Yeah.
yep. We're gonna step inside here and talk to you real quick.
Whoa,
Is your dog gonna bite?
No, he's not gonna bite.
Okay.
He didn't ask for permission, yeah.
He wants to press charges on me. Hitting me. Listen, officer, listen. Listen to this.
Listen,
I did not
listen,
hit
Linda.
him. He hit me.
You know what? Here's the deal. There's two sides to every story.
Right.
Okay.
Is there any way that he can just go?
Well, there's already been domestic claimed here. Okay. So from what we're
Look.
being,
They're going to take one of them.
My kids, I was asleep in my room. Of course, my kids are asleep. And he had woke me up driving my vehicle.
it's your
which-
guys' kids together, right?
Yeah, it's our kids together. But he was trying to start an argument between me and somebody else. And I said, so I was trying to de-escalate the problem because I'm not bringing no arguments here. And then he had hit me. He hit me in my face. And it's not just that's how he will try to make it to be like I'm lying, but I'm not lying.
I mean, the redness that
Right, there's a mark on my face.
Well, right here, it's like I don't know if it's because you're rubbing it or what.
No, he had hit me. I didn't put my hands on him.
You didn't hit him in the back of the
No,
head.
I did not do any of that shit. And that, I didn't hit him.
Is that your son out there?
No, that's my stepson. That's his son.
Well, so she's trying to say that the son's biased against her.
How old is your stepson?
How did she get out of the house?
Do you think
Like, this
11-year-old
interaction
just kinda
occurred
make up
outside of the
that
house.
story?
Yeah.
How was
Honestly,
she not the aggressor
I really
when he
do.
said I was out here and then she
Right.
came out?
She came to him. Yeah, she started the confrontation.
Him that like, oh, she hit me because he doesn't want to go to jail. But like the thing about it is, this is the last time he's gonna put his hands on me because I've been hit enough. Me and my kids have been through enough here.
Yeah.
She doesn't seem believable.
Gonna have to just whatever you guys. He needs to go to jail. He needs to sit in jail and he needs to have some time to think about what the he's doing because he's acting crazy.
So you're saying that you
And I have cameras actually, like I had charged that camera.
do you have camera footage of the incident?
No, I don't.
Of course
because
not.
Nobody was out there. The neighbors wasn't out there. He
They
had
said they
ran
didn't
over.
see it.
Huh?
They said they didn't see it. We talked to them.
Okay, well, the neighbors wasn't out there. That's exactly right. The neighbors wasn't out there. Nobody was out there. It was me and him, and I had grabbed. He was trying to start an argument here, and like I said, I'm not going to have no argument, no fighting here because of my kids. And this is where, like, I live here with my kids, and I'm trying, you know.
The
like,
body
it's
cam
not-
footage is
I'm
really
not
good
doing
these
that.
days.
So,
Like,
he
really
had hit
good.
me, and it's the last time he's going to put his hands on
And
me
this is
ever.
unfortunately, we see a lot of this, and this is exactly how it goes down.
You're saying he just hit you?
Yeah, why did you go outside fighting, bro?
Hey, why did you go outside?
It's all confused. It's confusing.
She's confused. Her story doesn't make sense, and now she's confused.
Well, liars always accuse people of doing the exact thing that they've done.
Projecting.
Yeah, they project.
Went outside to talk to him.
Right, I went outside to talk to him because we were already on the phone, and then he was trying to create a whole bunch of other
Were
problems.
you guys fighting while you were on the phone?
No,
How did it escalate so quick?
because he had put his hands on.
Can I shut this dog in this room?
I can get him.
So now she's claiming that they were not fighting, and did she just make the claim that he just cold cocked her for
Yeah,
no
just
reason?
just out of the blue.
If we're not gonna separate tonight, like I don't feel safe here with me and my kids. So
Me and my kids again.
I'm gonna go get my camera and you grab a couple pictures of you. If that's cool. Is that okay?
yeah, I'm just very overwhelmed right now, as you can imagine. You know what I mean?
She doesn't seem overwhelmed.
Well,
She
she's
seems like
starting to lose her composure.
Yeah, she's
She's throwing her Hail Mary now. I'm gonna
Yeah.
cry.
yeah, she wasn't crying before.
Just shut the door.
I do want to press charges against him. Actually, I think that is what.
When it
needs
comes to
happen.
DV, it doesn't even matter if you want to or not want to.
Really.
Doesn't matter. Once the primary aggressor is determined, that's who goes. Okay, especially when there's claims of physical injury or physical altercation. After that, it's all court. You know, once that's
I'm really
done,
impressed by
you
these
know, if your
officers.
guys'
They're
statement,
good.
if
Where is
guys
this?
Hold some non-truth on there. That's gonna,
I think it's Riverside.
you know, courts
Really?
see that, you know, if that's not the truth. That's
Good
not
for
the
them.
truth. So, if there is charges, then that doesn't mean
RPD.
that doesn't mean
I will
See in the
say,
top left?
as the son of a
100%,
cop,
it just means
these are the most dangerous situations that they face every day. Domestic disputes are
And it's
so
70
dangerous.
I had a Riverside County Sheriff tell me 70% of their calls are domestic disputes. And that's when it's something like 75 or 80% of injuries to law enforcement occur.
Right? Because someone just pops a gun out of, like, they could have a gun anywhere in there.
Hit me. You know what I mean? And he.
Well, I'm sure his story's the same, saying that you shouldn't have hit him.
Right.
There's two sides.
Right. But
And, you
I
know,
did hit him.
But well, I mean, and he didn't hit you apparently. It goes both ways,
Right.
and that's all I'm saying. That's what court's for.
Gosh, I just really like, that is what court's
You know,
for.
Our job is to determine the primary aggressor.
His dad wasn't even here to see it.
I love,
We
though,
don't care what
that
the dad has to say,
they are just
right?
assuming
We
that
care
the
what he
woman's
has to say and what he
story
has to say.
is
You guys
true.
go
They're
on.
actually doing fact finding.
Well, you see her, and body language wise, she's trying to create distance between herself and them because they're not taking her bait.
Apparently.
No, he wasn't.
Okay, well, I wasn't here to see it either. He wasn't here to see it, so we have to go based off the two stories we're told. We determine a primary aggressor. That's who goes to jail. All right, I'm just being blunt with you. We're not gonna sit here and waste each other's time anymore. Okay, that's what court's for. When you guys go to court, you guys hash it all out there.
Right.
If you guys say, you know what, no, that didn't happen, that's on you guys. Okay?
Right.
I'm just trying to make it as simple as possible explaining it to you.
I think the cops have made the
Well,
decision
I'm
in
just
trying to
gonna
get
make
her to
sure
come
that
to it.
I'm not going to jail tonight.
I'll explain that to you once you get done with your statement.
Get done with your statement.
They've already made their decision.
Yes.
Can you sign it?
I'm sorry. I know that you.
We got other stuff.
Yeah, you guys do have other shit you have to do.
You're going to jail. So let's go.
I'm going to jail?
Yes.
You're under arrest.
No. How am I under arrest? How am I under arrest for getting
Because you're
hit?
determined to be the primary aggressor.
I'm under. No.
No.
Yes.
And she's walking away. That's her.
Don't make it worse.
No.
We'll add a resisting
Stop.
charge. We have to.
How am I under arrest?
arrest.
No. How am I under arrest?
Just-
How am
put
I
the-
under arrest?
put the
Whoa.
pen down.
Look, I have rights. I just got hit.
I have rights.
We all have rights.
It's worse.
No.
You're going to get a resisting charge.
No.
You're going to get a resisting charge.
No, sir.
Stop.
Sir, please.
Dude,
Listen.
alright.
Listen,
You better
my-
get a resisting
My
charge.
kids are in there. No.
Stop. You're going to make this a lot harder than it has to be, okay?
Listen, my
Calm
kids are in here.
down.
No.
If you would have just said, okay, and can I just walk out to the cop car, they would have probably just walked you out to the cop car without putting you in cuffs
Right.
and allowed you to ride down.
By the point it gets to this, don't resist. It's not good. There's no good in it.
Yeah. Once they've determined the aggressor, like, it is what it is. Someone's got to go.
Yes.
And if you're the male or the female and you are determined the aggressor, like, there is no reason why you shouldn't look at the cops in the eye and say, okay, let's go, shake their hand, and walk out with them.
Some officers would have just put her face down into the ground, right? Like they're actually using restraint right here.
Yeah.
I mean, again, old days.
If you're a guy and doing this and you're bigger than them, you may have already been tased. You may be, and it's just not.
Your face is going to hit that ground really fast.
And once they've tased you, once they've had to restrain you, they're going to pop a resisting arrest charge on top of.
I mean, she should get one for this. And she said she hadn't been drinking at all either. So this is just her. And getting arrested, I'm sure, is a very. It's a big deal and it's very traumatizing, I'm sure, but she's not doing herself any favors. But it's like dad's there. The kid's fine. The kid's at their house.
Oh man. Oh, she's getting full on restrained.
Yeah, she is. She's just making it worse and worse for herself. Yikes.
Sir, he went in there. Please tell me he did. Thank you.
Look at the relief
See?
on his face.
Yeah, but he's not happy about this. This poor kid.
He went in there. I told him to keep an eye on that kid.
One thing they didn't do was read her Miranda rights.
They did not.
My kids are in there, sir. No, he's not safe with my kids. No.
This drives me crazy when women say that their children are not safe with dad. And they say that, like, there's a 9 or 10-year-old at least. He said he had a cell phone.
Right.
And dad, they're not safe with dad.
And now next it's going to be that he abuses the children, right? That's the next one in court.
100%. And I mean, if you, I know we have mostly men watching this. If you end up as the one in the back of the cop car, we talked about, hey, shake their hands, say, hey, let's go out to the cop car. I don't want to make a scene. And just sit in the cop car. Because they haven't read her Miranda rights yet. I'm assuming they're going to open the door here and do it shortly. But this can be used against you in court.
Yeah, they can get this video and show that any of these.
And here's the thing. Criminal court's one thing. And they may not be able to prove beyond reasonable doubt. But family court, this is not going to be a good look in terms of emotional stability.
I don't even care. I don't even care about his shoe. I don't care.
All right, we're going inside, and we're going to finish this statement. Do you need help?
I've had 4 triple bypass surgeries.
Yeah, that's why we're going inside.
And a pacemaker.
Oh.
Somebody rolled my windows on my dad's
He's young
body.
for that.
You got keys.
She might have took them or put them inside. I don't know what she's done with them.
All right, we'll find those keys.
Yeah.
I'm just going to get you sat down working on the statement, all right?
I'm sorry.
You're fine. Your dog going to bite me?
No. Here they are. She put them in my. She had my coat on here. She said the cameras though. Look, there's the
Who's that, the neighbor?
I think he said his dad. He was on the phone with his dad.
Oh, so he made it
and
there
he
in
made
time.
It, yeah, uncle.
It's supposed to be on the front, on the washer, on the front.
I believe you. I just need
I'm
that.
sorry, dude. I'm just.
This is so.
I'm scared because
I
my
understand.
children.
If I have this goes with my report, right, for the arrest report, and then this gets forwarded to the court. So if you want to apply for TPO, for
Yes,
full
for
hearing
sure.
for protection order,
Yes.
I need that to be real good and detailed.
Okay, good.
All right.
The suspect was charged with domestic violence and resisting arrest.
Did get her on resisting.
This is the process that people need to understand. So they were going to give him an emergency protective order. That was the paperwork.
Yeah.
The emergency protective order is what you receive from the police. It's usually good for, what is it, 3 to 5 days?
Something. It's very short term where the criminal courts can issue the criminal protective order.
Right. And so during that time period, that gives you enough time to go down to the courthouse or call us, and we'll do it ourselves. And we get the file for the temporary domestic violence restraining order. 21 days after that, the permanent domestic violence restraining order hearing will be set.
Yeah. Let's roll back to the top now. We were kind of commentating on the video as we went through. And I think this is an extremely common situation, unfortunately. I think a vast majority of our cases where the police have been called, it's something along the lines of this. And unfortunately, a good chunk of the time, the man is the one who ends up getting arrested. Man's more likely to be arrested than the female. As Ryan said earlier, once the cops come on a domestic disturbance, they determine who the aggressor is, and they must take one of you away.
Absolutely.
So
they have to.
They have to take one of you away. And you see her, she wanted to be the first one to talk to him. She wanted to set the narrative. She wanted to set her hook. And I think a lot of women really, really push hard to do that. I think really the only thing I saw him that I would say, hey, you shouldn't do that, was his initial reaction. How far it can go if you just walk out. There's probably going to be 2 cops there. Usually they actually talk to you at the same time. One will take one to one side, one will take one to the other. If you shake their hand, man to man, or if it's female cop, woman to woman, usually they'll be, if they can, it'll be the female will go with the female, male will go with the male. But if you act calm, cool, and collected, you shake their hand, you look them in the eye, you are dispassionate in how you describe what has happened, you're going to lower the odds of you being the one to end up in a cop car.
Well, just remember, they're people, and they're used to aggressive situations, and they will respond with aggression. Same bit. Most police, if you come to them with respect and treat them with respect from the get-go, they're going to give you respect, right? Yeah. Respect is given where it's earned, and you're immediately showing them, like, hey, I'm the reasonable person here. I can control my emotions.
Yeah. And then it's like once they've made the determination, which I think in this video is probably a solid 5 to 7 minutes. I didn't even see the cops discuss it. I think they both just knew that she was the aggressor based on her story didn't make chronological sense. And why the hell was she outside? She was inside, and then she was outside where the incident occurred. But if you are the one, they determine you're the aggressor. Now, it's going to be a painful process, but you can make it easier on yourself. Like, plenty of times, if you had a cool, calm conversation with the officer, and when they said, hey, we've determined you're the aggressor, you're under arrest, if you just say, okay, awesome, can we not make this a scene? I'll go with you and we can go handle this. They're going to let you walk out. They're going to allow it not to be a scene in front of your kids, and it'll go a long way. Because that video, whether it makes it into criminal court, whether they have enough to convict someone, that's a totally different story than what we deal with on a day in, day out basis. That video alone, that arrest alone, may be enough to convince a judge that a permanent restraining order of 1, 3, even 5 years is necessary. And we talk in so many of these episodes about how damaging it is in California if there's a finding of domestic violence in your family case.
I mean, it trickles down through everything. It can be used as a basis for preventing support to the abuser. If you have a criminal conviction, you can actually, even in the appropriate circumstance, be kept from your share of that spouse's 401k or retirement. That's only in the event of a criminal conviction. But I mean, these have wide-reaching, broad effects. Not to mention, we haven't even talked about the 30-44 presumption.
Which, realistically, if your kids are over the age of 5 and something like this happens, this is going to impact your custody situation for the remainder of your kids being of the minority, under the age of 18. It is going to have an impact. You get a 5-year restraining order when they're 5 years old, and your contact, your visitation is limited until they're 10, 11, 12 years old. The likelihood of you turning that around and you having primary custody, or even you having equal custody, is substantially diminished.
Well, remember, even if you rebut the presumption and say, all right, I went to my anger management classes, I took the substance abuse classes, it's still going to be used against you every time you walk into court. Just because you rebutted it doesn't mean that it won't be used against you. And God help you if you have another incident similar to that.
Yeah. Well, I had a trial, it would have been last year, where the dad had a restraining order put against him when the children were under the age of 3. There was a restraining order mom had gotten against him. Well, we were at trial. We had actually, through the process, mom had been arrested for child abuse on a Ramey warrant. But in going through the process, like, the other attorney, and this was, the kids are like teenagers at this point, and the other attorney was still talking about the decade-old restraining order that hadn't been in place for like 9 years. Now, I would argue, like, at that point, it's irrelevant. There's a long track record post that, but you are going to hear about that forever.
100%. One of our attorneys just recently had one, and where the mother of the children and his former spouse had actually stabbed him in the face. And they were saying, well, that's 6 or 7 years ago. No, you stabbed him in the face. You're going to hear that every single time.
So it works
right?
both ways.
It does work both ways. But you better believe that you have to come at these allegations quick, and you have to put your defense in court. Do not go into a domestic violence restraining order hearing without counsel. I don't know about you. I've sat and watched pro per, that's people who are representing themselves, just get railroaded. Get railroaded for a rude text. It's not even a threat, right? Stuff that's not domestic violence, believe you me, is being granted in these courtrooms every day.
Well, and I've seen even probably the funniest one I have ever seen was a young lady filed for a restraining order, and the guy didn't show up, which I highly recommend you show up if you get served with restraining order paperwork. But he didn't show up, and the judge, who she's no longer on the bench in the Inland Empire and family court, but she's known for being very aggressive at granting restraining orders and usually being on the long side when they get granted. Well, this girl, she went up there and she was pro per, and the judge is like, okay, well, tell me why you need a restraining order. And she had a temporary restraining order without the other side there, didn't know what she was doing. And the judge ended up denying her permanent restraining order just based on what she said. Restraining orders a lot of times are very technical. And since 2020 in the state of California, they've gotten even more technical. There's more ways that you can abuse someone. There's more case law that dives into the technicalities around abuse. And so going in there blind, thinking that you're just going to say your part and win, is a way that can really impact your life, with your family, your kids, with your finances, everything. So,
how many times have we seen texts and they say, well, that's taken out of context, but you didn't bring the context to court. Well, that was on my other phone, or I had this. And
there's a lot of burner phones in Southern California because they seem to never have the
full context, right? But I mean, I've recently won cases where, you know, she came up with 20 different text messages that if you looked at them in absentia by themselves, you would say, well, that's not really a big deal. But she used it to show a pattern of coercive conduct and control, which required me then to bring in all the actual text messages before and after to show, yes, this is out of context. No, this person is not trying to control this other person, right? But if you're not ready on game day, right, no one's going to help you, right? If you don't bring your evidence, I have that evidence in the car, then you're lost, right?
Definitely,
you have to be ready, people.
All right. Well, Ryan, thank you so much for your time today. To our listeners and viewers, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you found it informative. We covered kind of broad range of domestic violence and what to do in those situations. To everyone, we'll see you guys again next week with another episode of the Father's Rights Playbook.
Bye, everyone.